Throughout history, there have been a handful of lifters who have earned the nickname Pocket Hercules. These were athletes of a shorter stature who possessed exceptional strength and muscles. Let's take a look at 3 of the most famous examples. Joseph DePietro was an American lifter who stood just 140 centimeters or 4 foot 7 inches tall. His proportions were amazingly advantageous for the sport of Olympic weightlifting, where he could lock out a bar just barely above his head, making him an excellent overhead presser. In fact, he could strict overhead press about the same weight he could clean off the floor, something which would be unthinkable for most weightlifters. He competed nationally during World War II, when weightlifting consisted of 3 lifts. Athletes first did a clean and press, followed by a snatch, and finally a clean and jerk. His exceptional pressing strength always gave him an early lead in competition and helped him rise to the top of the national ranks. Once the war was over, he got his first chance to compete internationally. He was already 34 years old at the 1947 World Championship, where he pressed a world record 102.5 kilos. That's 2 plates pressed strictly overhead by a 56 kilo athlete. The following year, he won gold for his country at the Olympic Games and outdid himself again with a 105 kilo strict press. Next, we have Manohar Aich, an Indian bodybuilder who stood 150 centimeters or 4 foot 11 inches tall. He started doing calisthenic exercises as a child to rebuild himself after an illness which nearly took his life. He was introduced to bodybuilding when he joined the British Air Force during World War II, though it wasn't until he got locked up for slapping an officer that he really locked in. He would spend hours per day lifting weights while imprisoned and came out jacked enough to start competing in physique shows. At the 1951 Mr. Universe, he took 2nd place in the short category behind his compatriot Manohar Aich. However, in 1952, he won the short category, with the overall going to Spanish bodybuilder Juan Ferrero. He also became known for his longevity as he lifted his entire life and lived until the age of 104. Now, usually on this channel, we only talk about athletes from before the 1950s, which, by the way, if you like my videos, how about you hit that little subscribe button for me? It only takes 1 second and helps us grow the community. Naim Süleymanoğlu was a Turkish weightlifter born in 1967, so he competed in a totally different era of weightlifting where steroid use was widespread. But still, one simply cannot make a Pocket Hercules video without talking about Naim. At 147 centimeters or 4 foot 10 inches, he was not only dominant back then, he may be the best pound for pound weightlifter who ever lived. He won 3 Olympic gold medals, which has him tied with 2 other lifters for the most Olympic golds in weightlifting history. By all accounts, he would have quite easily won a 4th had his country not been boycotting the Olympics in 1984. In 1988, he performed a 190 kilo clean and jerk, which was 3.15 times his body weight of 60 kilos. This is still, to this day, the highest ratio in the history of the clean and jerk. These Pocket Herculeses were the original short kings. While some choose to see height as a disadvantage, all they could see was better leverage. Because being short doesn't mean you have to be weak or unimpressive. Now let me know in the comments if you would like to see a video about some of the tallest lifters in history.